The first main topic we're going to dive into has to deal with how we store data in memory. Lists and linked lists are one of the more simpler data structures that you're going to deal with, so we're going to start there. But before we talk about linked lists, we need to introduce a super important idea first, which is pointers. So pointers are one of the trickier concepts that you're going to encounter in your computer science career. So I forgive you in advance if you feel like this is melting your brain, but it's super critical because certainly the assignment that you're going to deal with right now on pointers and linked lists, obviously you need to understand it there, but this is a critical topic for basically being successful in all of this class and all of programming beyond that. The difference between value and memory and reference, understanding that is really critical. So if you have to watch this a few times, I will forgive you. So just try to get this under your hat quickly because it's really important. Okay, so maybe a silly picture is going to help introduce this topic. So this is Andy and Ted. Andy is wearing a shirt and it has a number on it. Obviously, the value is 42. And Ted is just standing there pointing at Andy. His value is a reference to the spot where Ted is standing. We don't know what happened to Ted's shirt. Maybe there's a poker game involved. We don't know. Anyway, so in C++, we declare variables for both Ted and Andy using certain punctuation. Andy is easy, and you've seen this kind of thing before. Int Andy equals 42. But what's Ted doing? His role, or his type, is to point at something. In this case, Ted is pointing at Andy, or where Andy is standing. In C++, we declare a pointer variable with the type with an asterisk after it. In this case, we want Ted to point to an integer, so we write int star Ted. That's just the declaration. But we also want to assign a value. So what's Ted's value going to be? Well, it's the spot where Andy is. So we want to get Andy's address in memory, and we do that using the ampersand in front of a variable. So if we were to print all this stuff out that I just talked about, the code might look like this. First we get Andy's value. That's easy. Then we get Andy's address. Remember, we put Andy's address into the Ted variable. So when we print out Ted, we should see the same thing as ampersand Andy. So last, Ted with an asterisk in front of it means we're asking for the value at the address that Ted is pointing to. And that's what we get. So this really gross 0x7ff thing, that's just a memory address. That's just what it looks like when we print it out. It's just basically a big hexadecimal number. And importantly, both Andy and star Ted give us 40.